What's up, guys? My name is Jerry, and today's video is going to be on the Orlando Magic, and we're going to be talking about how this team is going to be very dangerous very soon, and we're going to jump right into the video. I know what you guys are thinking. How can a team with a 3-9 record be very dangerous very soon? And when I say very soon, I don't mean tomorrow. I don't mean by next week. This could happen any point this season. It could happen after the All-Star break. It could happen at the very end of the season. It could even be at the beginning of next year. But the Orlando Magic, they definitely have something special cooking up, and they have so many great pieces. I want to go back to their 3-9 record, and I'm definitely not making any excuses for the Orlando Magic, but I definitely think there is some things that we have to take into consideration. For number one, injuries. They've had a lot of injuries to a lot of key guys on their roster. Guys like Markelle Fultz, Jonathan Isaac, Cole Anthony hasn't played too much this season, and those are three guys who could definitely contribute to some wins for the Orlando Magic. And then number two, if you've been watching the Orlando Magic so far this season, just about every game that they've lost, they definitely could have won. There's been some games where they've been up big and they just let the lead slip away. And I think all of that just comes with them being a young team. And I think that's the one thing that's stopping them from winning ball games. Or I should say, the two things that's stopping them from winning more ball games is, number one, they're not fully healthy. And number two, they're just a young, inexperienced team. The talent is definitely there, but they have to learn how to come back from 10-12 points, or they have to learn how to maintain the lead. So just things like that, and all of that comes with time. So that is one of the reasons why I think the Orlando Magic is going to be very dangerous very soon. And the other reason is all the talent that they have on this roster, and it starts with Paolo Banchero. Now, Paolo Banchero so far has played 8 games for the Orlando Magic, and every game that he has stepped onto the NBA court, he has proved why he deserved to be the number 1 pick, and he is proving why the Orlando Magic made the correct choice. Now we look at the Orlando Magic and we look at some of the guys on this roster: Cole Anthony, Franz Wagner, Wendell Carter Jr. All these guys are very, very solid on the offensive side of the ball, but neither one of those guys have flashed the potential to be the offensive engine of a team. So that's why the Orlando Magic, they decided to cash in that number 1 overall pick on Paolo Banchero, and it seems like they have definitely made the correct choice, because so far on this season, Paolo Banchero, he has not been looking like this is his first year in the league. This looks like it's about his 4th or 5th year. His numbers are crazy. He's putting up 23.5 points, 4 assists per game to go along with 8 rebounds, and he's doing this while shooting 46% from the field, 25% from the 3-point line, and 76% from the free throw line. Now, that is pretty efficient for a rookie. Of course, that 3-point percentage is kind of low, but guys are not disrespecting his jumper. They're not daring him to shoot. I just think it's something he'll become more consistent at as the season goes along. So he's putting up some great numbers, and I just love the way that the Orlando Magic are utilizing him. And Paolo Banchero, he makes it very easy because there's really nothing he can do offensively. You can play him down on the block. He's a great post player. He stands at 6'10", and he's 250 pounds. Majority of that is muscle, so he can muscle you down there. He has amazing footwork. He can do every post move. He has a soft touch. He can finish with brute force. He's just a great post player. He can even shoot the post fade from down there. And then what makes this guy so tricky, remember we just said he's 6'10", 250 pounds. He can take that ball out there on the perimeter, and he can break down just about anybody. I've been watching the Orlando Magic. I tuned into a few of their games so far this season, and he's not breaking down big guys. He's breaking down small, quick players. He's very shifty, and he has a great handle on the ball, and the move that he loves to get to, He loves to get to that hezzy. His hezzy is very dangerous because his mid-range pull-up is very respectable. So he get guys to jump at it, and once they jump at that hezzy, he gets all the way to the rim. So he can score from the perimeter. He can score down low. He can also set up his teammates, and then he can move without the basketball. He's a great cutter. You can play him in the screen and roll. He's just a complete offensive player, man. It's all looking a little bit too easy for him so far in his NBA career. So I think Paolo Banchero, he's definitely the catalyst. He's the spark plug for the Orlando Magic, and he's the guy that's going to make them so dangerous. So we have Paolo Banchero, and then I just think the scheme of the Orlando Magic, as they start to get more experience and they start to learn each other a little bit more, their offensive scheme is going to be so hard to figure out. So we look at the Orlando Magic, not counting their previous game against the Dallas Mavericks because Paolo Banchero missed it with this ankle sprain. But before that, they were experimenting with running that 4-big lineup with Bobo, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, and Wendell Carter Jr. And then Jalen Suggs plays the point guard position. I really like what I see from this lineup, and I think these guys have a really great chance of revolutionizing the game of basketball because in my time of watching basketball, I'm only 21 years of age, but I've watched a lot of basketball. I've never seen a team throw out four big guys. Bobo is over 7 feet tall. Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner, they're like 6'10", and then Wendell Carter, he's also like 6'10", 6'11", so I've never really seen that before. And if anybody can do this, it's the Orlando Magic because their bigs have so much skill, and I think what allows them to play these bigs like this is Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero. These guys may be 6'10", but they have a lot of guard skills, and so far this season, Franz Wagner, he's been acting as a playmaker a lot for the Orlando Magic. He's been bringing the ball up, he's been initiating the offense, running the pick and roll, and he's been doing a pretty solid job at it. My only concern is with this lineup is the 3-point shooting. Now, I feel like this lineup, they have guys who can knock down wide open 3-point shots. Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, just about everybody in this starting five can knock down a wide open jumper, but they have to be able to do it consistently, and we haven't seen it so far this season. But it's a very young team, man, so I expect like the numbers are gonna fluctuate. The numbers always fluctuate with younger NBA teams, but nonetheless, I think this offense can do so many other things, and I think the best thing they can do is mash down in the paint and play in the post. And I've seen that a lot this season. The Orlando Magic, they really get after it on the offensive glass because they have 4 bigs out there. They essentially have 4 guys out there who are almost 7 foot tall. So it's a given that they're going to dominate on the glass, and I think they just cause a lot of mismatch problems. For example, you take Wendell Carter Jr. and Paolo Banchero. Both of those guys are essentially great post players, and usually in the NBA today, the game has changed so much. There's only about 1 guy on the court who can guard the low post. Some teams might have 2, but most of the time it's only 1. So, and Wendell Carter, he's been pretty good at knocking down the 3-point shot so far this season. He's knocked down a few of them. He hits the wide open ones. He's shooting 32% from the 3-point line, which is pretty decent for a center. So I think with that aspect, it allows the Orlando Magic to play bully ball with Paolo Banchero and Wendell Carter Jr. because only 1 post scorer can defend those guys. So when they get a smaller person on them, they can take them down to that block, and that's barbecue chicken. And we've seen them do that so far this season. And then also the pick and roll, so many different pick and roll combinations. You can have it with Franz Wagner as the ball handler, and you can have either Wendell Carter Jr. setting the screen for him. You can have Paolo Banchero setting the screen for him, or you can have Paolo Banchero as the ball handler, and you can have a couple of different guys set a screen for him. Wendell Carter Jr., Franz Wagner, Bobo. And speaking of Bobo, man, he's the real wild card in this offense. I done seen him do some crazy things so far this season. Like he'd catch the rebound, he'd take it coast to coast, hitting the guy with a crossover or the behind the back, and that's just not something you see from guys his size. So I think with this Orlando Magic offense, they can hit on everything that as far as offensive sets. They can dominate the pick and roll and hunt for so many different mismatches. They can dominate the low post. They have a guy in Paolo Banchero who is an amazing ISO scorer. When I tell you, this guy just he makes it look so effortless. It's so smooth. His ball handle, his pull-up jump shot, the way he finishes around the rim, it just all looks so easy to him. And like we said, we haven't even seen Cole Anthony yet, who is their best offensive guard, and he offers them a little bit more three-point shooting. Markelle Fultz is an amazing playmaker, and we haven't seen their best defender, Jonathan Isaac. And I know we haven't seen him in a very long time, but he's only 24 years of age. I think it's going to take a while to get that rust off, but I think he can come back and still be an exceptional defender because he is so young. So I think he's going to be able to get a lot of his athleticism back. So I think the Orlando Magic, I think that clock is ticking. It's just development. They got to learn how to win, learn how to hold on to wins, learn how to make a comeback. And I think once they do that, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. But that's going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, comment down below if you agree or disagree, and then subscribe for more weekly content. We do this all the time, man, and that's curtains.